Welcome to Plug In, episode 21. I'm your host, Stephanie Myers, and today our guest is Paul Roberts from OC Talk Radio, and of course, I'm with Avi, our other host.
Yes. Well,
Good
Mr.
morning.
Roberts, welcome. Good morning.
Wow, such a space.
Yeah.
How'd you paint the walls like this and everything? How'd you get everything on them?
Well, it's all the magic. We are in Disney here, Magic
It's
Land.
an optical illusion.
Yeah. So, Mr. Paul
Rob.
Roberts.
You call me Rob. I'm the Rob man.
Yes. We are going to talk today. Do you have anything with fashion or stories on? I know you were
Just
out.
a lot of controversial stories this weekend.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So
Well-
should we get to it?
Yeah, get it. Let's.
Okay,
let it
I'm
go.
sure we all know, this past weekend, University of Oklahoma SAE chapter, the Sigma Alpha Epsilon chapter, got kicked off campus because of a racist chant, which started
And
trending
they
on
should,
Reddit.
yeah.
I agree. I mean,
We are in the 21st century, and we're still going around with the racist chant and filming it. And then the mother in the plays, she had.
She had a Vine. There was a Vine that was circulating that was back from 2013, and she was just saying, the racial slur repeatedly, and it was just, and this is, I mean, it was pretty ridiculous. You would think that she'd have more class than that.
All these years later. Hard to believe that we haven't advanced any more than that. Why haven't we advanced any more than that? What's holding us back?
I think it's a human brain doesn't work that fast. It took the evolution 4 billion years to get us to walk and explore the world, and we are advancing so fast we can't let go of our hatred and our discrimination.
But can I give you an example where that's not true?
Yeah, okay.
Can I disagree with you?
Yeah, sure. That's just
Of course, yes, we're all about conversation and discussion.
Yeah.
Ripped from the headlines, right here,
Yes.
boy. I brought in some headlines today here. Ripped We
From
need a
the
ripping
headline.
sound. Do you have
Okay.
do you have a ripping sound?
Yeah.
Did they have a
We can put one. Yeah,
rip
just
from
go.
the headlines?
We'll
All
do
right, rip
our
from the
own
headlines.
sound effects.
All right.
The fastest change in American society is Supreme Court poised to settle gay marriage fight once and for all.
Okay.
How did gay marriage go from, as they say in here, 20 years ago, it was illegal
Yes.
to be gay.
Yes.
They threw you in jail if they
Yes.
caught you in
Yes.
a gay compromising position here.
Okay. So
And now
why?
all of a sudden it's legal. Why in 20 years have we advanced so fast where we
Because-
still can't lose the racial epithets 100 years later?
Okay,
Yeah, I
because
agree.
with gay, you can't tell if a person is gay or not.
Oh, I don't
unless
know.
you go check. No, most of them they
Yeah.
live their life normal and
Yeah.
they didn't go any. But you can see the black from white or the Spanish from white coming.
Right.
And that's one of the things. So first we
Are
discriminate.
you gay? Let's just continue.
I am both. No, sexuality. I think sexuality is not as important to us because it happens behind closed door. But racism, it's based on color, skin,
Yeah.
based on the person walk. You can see it coming. While the
Why do you think you're the voice of the millennials here?
Right,
Why have
I
you guys embraced this and accepted this so quickly, so fast?
I think part of the thing is that my generation, everyone, says Generation Y. You guys always ask why questions.
Why?
Yeah.
You're very,
Why do you do
my
this, right?
generation is very outspoken, and I think some of that we speak our minds. I think some of it's part of like my generation,
Mm-hmm.
but also I think more and more, I think another thing is that more and more celebrities like Ellen DeGeneres, Matt Bomer, who was in The Normal Heart, which was a great film based on a play. But I think people are just becoming more vocal about it, and
How come
they're
they are
making a
not
stand.
vocal on racism?
Yeah, right.
I wish I could.
You don't know. See?
All right.
know,
so what's the answer, Mr. Roberts?
I think that I don't know either. I really don't. It's as they say, point out in this article in Time Magazine, and many people have said this is the fastest social change ever in the history of America.
Yeah.
African Americans were brought over here in bondage as slaves. People still view them in a different light than they do
Yeah.
everybody else. Why? This seems to be ingrained in American history and American psyche. And yet, 20 years ago, I mean, it was...
Maybe gay people better campaigners. and they have more money to go to court than to go to the Supreme Court.
Somehow they've changed the image and the perception of that more rapidly than anybody else has changed. So fast that the politicians have been able to keep up with it. Obama came into office only 8 years ago saying, I don't believe that marriage is just for a man and a woman. And a couple of years later, it's like,
it's okay.
It's okay.
But you know what?
I didn't really believe that.
I read a story that racism, even especially with it's more so now after Obama became president than before. That's it's ticked up instead of down.
It was supposed to move us past racism, and instead it just sort of put it right in our face again here.
Okay, so what's the solution then?
The solution is...
I think as Morgan Freeman
pass that one along, like I know.
You pass it on to me. No,
like I know the solution.
Morgan Freeman, in a sense, he makes a good point to stop. He says something to the fact of, stop talking about racism. But at the same time, on the other side of that coin, I feel like, you need to talk about it to
get it out. And
to get it out. It doesn't matter if you're black or white or Latino or everyone needs to kind of vocalize.
That's been my problem though since the beginning. When you put two people in, when you separate us into two groups and you call one black and the other white, boy, it's hard to find much compromise there.
Yes.
I mean, it is black and white. It's about as far apart as you can do.
Yes.
And I know it sounds, people hate political correctness and all that, but if you do refer to people as Irish Americans, African Americans, other sorts of things, it lessens that divide. But the minute I'm black and you're white, it's hard for us to find any common ground there. We're about as polarized as we can be there. I think language does matter.
I agree. I see your point. I just think... I mean, I learned in school because I
you learned and she learned in school?
Right, yeah. What a surprise.
You're one of the few.
I
don't think anybody did that anymore.
Referring to people as Caucasian or Irish Americans, like you said.
Right.
I feel like if someone has just a minor slip up, they're going to be attacked.
Well,
and
yeah.
So
we got to get past the everybody jumping on you.
Okay, we just have to be careful about everything that we say, but...
What did you say?
Make sure that it's...
What? How did you say that?
We have to make sure that we're
I was getting a little upset with you there. I wasn't sure you were saying something. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I was like, wait, did I say that? I wasn't supposed to. No, I think that we just have to be really careful about what we say, but at the same time, you have to be politically correct. I mean, this whole thing at University of Oklahoma, I was just in shock. And
but I agree with the punishment. I agree there should be even expelled, because that's the only way you're going to teach people that this is not acceptable.
And 2 students have been expelled. ABC News reported that this morning, that 2 Sigma Alpha Epsilon students at the University of Oklahoma have been expelled, and they're investigating the situation.
It's been a long time since I've been in college, but isn't SAE one of those jock fraternities? Isn't that these guys?
At my school, it was. At my... it's a
so they're just trying to be shocking and tough and rough and all this stuff, but they took it too far. That wasn't funny.
But you know what? Discrimination and racism is not only in college, even in the police departments. Look what happened again in Wisconsin. The kid wasn't armed, and all of a sudden they used deadly force on him. I mean, you can probably hit him with a baton, tase him, but always with the bullet, and 4 or 5 bullets for an unarmed kid.
I'm shocked. And I don't know how. Has this suddenly been a resurgence of this sort of fear in the police departments, where they so overreact if they see a black man in the room? Oh my God, I've got to come in with the heavy weapons here.
They are teaching them to be like an assault team with the equipment they gave them after 9/11 and all this, for literally to chase after kids.
And how do people kill unarmed kids, black or white, and then go to court like Trayvon Martin stuff and say, I really felt like my life was in danger. I had a gun, and I had to use it because he was hitting me. This little boy was hitting me, and I'm a big guy, and so I had to pull my gun out and shoot him. And people go, that makes sense to me.
Well, because it's the gun stupid laws that we have, that you have concealed carry and all this. And when you are like literally, if you get cornered, the first thing you do, you pull the gun. If you didn't have a gun, you run, or you take a rock and hit the rock.
I'd run.
But if you have a gun, you're more likely to stand your ground and try to act as you are.
I thought the most touching statement was when Obama spoke about this years ago, and he said, "You really don't understand unless you are
Been
black.
there.
I hate to say black again
Yeah.
here, but if you're an African American, if you're black, like all this is back here, and you know what it's
I
like
believe
to
it.
walk into a room and people immediately lock their doors.
Yeah.
Just because you
Yeah.
walk down the
Fast.
street. And I'm sorry to say, I probably was raised like that. So if I was in a certain neighborhood and I saw people that didn't look like me coming at me, I'd be more scared than if I saw a bunch of Irish hooligans coming at me here.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
Irish.
I lived
No, I
lived
believe
in
that.
New York, and you will be lucky if you are black and to pick up a taxi cab after 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night. They will see you standing and hailing the cab, and they will pass on a white or women down the street. They will stop, and you're sitting there. What happened?
Yeah,
Am I invisible or what?
So it is real. It still carries on.
Oh,
I don't know why
definitely.
we're ingrained in race and we've somehow given up the fight about sexuality, and all of a sudden we've suddenly embraced it and accepted it in a rapid turnaround, most rapid turnaround ever.
I guess politics, or I don't know, paying for it, figuring out how to do it and put it in front of the Supreme Court to pass it. But I don't think you can legislate or put laws for people what they are doing behind their doors,
Well,
in
no,
their
I never
homes.
did. But when I went to law school in Virginia. I'd let to say Virginia. And when I went to school in Virginia,
Yeah.
they at that time in the 70s, it was illegal for a black man and a white woman to marry.
Yeah.
One, and it was also illegal for two people of the same sex to engage in any sort of.
Well, Arnett
sex
tells
act.
me in Indiana at one time on the deed was that this property cannot be sold to color or black people.
Right.
On the deed. Wow. So, and that's not too long ago, like in the 50s.
Have you read A Raisin in the Sun?
No?
It's a
Famous
book.
movie, and I mean,
Yes, exactly. I believe it's in a play form where that's what it was about. How a black family, they wanted to move in this white dominant neighborhood, and then they were. I forgot whether they actually moved in, but at the last
During the
minute,
break, we're going to go find all that out.
yes.
All right.
Oh yes. It's so caught up.
So, our time is like slipping 1, 2, 3, but we should be back with the second episode.
We're gonna do more of this.
More, yeah. We're going to discuss and see maybe we can find a solution and send it to Obama and Congress and get it passed and have the harmony and peace between us.